Hello and welcome back to Warmup. Today is our last lesson on bar charts. You'll be glad to hear. We're looking at scaled bar charts today. Our walt is to read and draw bar charts that use a scale of more than 1. But first, let's warm up. I'm going to show you a few bar charts. However, the title is missing. Use all the other clues to help you figure out what the title should be. You ready? Okay, here is your first bar chart. Pause the video and try figure out what the title should be. Did you get the title correct? This survey was about the favorite chocolate bar. If you got something close to that, good job. You're a good detective. Let's move on to the second bar chart. Take a look at this one. What do you think the title might be? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this bar chart shows the favourite school subjects of the people asked. Did you get something close to that? If you did, good job. 2 out of 2. And let's go on to the last and final bar chart of the warm-up. Take a look at this one. What do you think the title should be? Pause the video and write down your answer. Well, this final bar chart tells no lies. The title was Best Football Team Ever, and you can see that the people who voted in this are absolutely correct in saying that Blackburn Rovers are the best football team ever. Okay, you're all warmed up and ready to go. Let's jump into the lesson. So if you think back to our pictogram lessons, we talked about scale and how scale changes what we're counting up in when we're reading graphs. Bar charts also use scales to help us present and read information. Take a look at this huge bar chart. The numbers go all the way up to 38. It's so big that it actually wouldn't fit on the screen if we did it as a vertical one. We had to do it as a horizontal. Of course, that's not really okay when we get into the big numbers. Imagine we asked the whole school what their favourite subject was. Our numbers would be so big, we'd need huge pieces of paper to draw the graphs. That's where scales come in handy. Here's the same information on a graph with a different scale. You can see then the side of the y-axis, we're not counting up in ones anymore like we used to. Instead, we're counting up in twos. This means we're using a scale of 2 to 1. It makes it easier to read, and it also means we can fit it all onto a nice, tidy, vertical bar chart. Sometimes our numbers will be too big even for a scale of 2 to 1. That's okay. We can jump up to a scale of 5 to 1, like on this bar chart here. You can see we're jumping up in 5s along the y-axis now. Maybe a scale of 5 to 1 still isn't big enough. Well, we can move up to a scale of 10 to 1 then, like on this bar chart. The scale we use just depends on how big or small the numbers in our data are. We can use any scale. Okay, now that you know a little bit more about scaled bar charts, it's time to do a little practice. I'm going to show you a few scaled bar charts. You need to figure out what the scale they're using is. Is it a 2 to 1 scale? Is it a 5 to 1? Is it even bigger? Remember to write your answer as one number, ... 1. This is how we correctly write scale. You ready? Okay, let's go. Here is your first bar chart. It shows the favourite seasons of the people asked. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what scale this bar chart uses. Well, this bar chart uses a scale of 2 to 1. That means each jump up on the y-axis is jumping up in 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Let's go on to the next bar chart. Have a look at this bar chart. It's horizontal this time, so don't get confused. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what is the scale of this bar chart. Well, the scale of this bar chart is 5 to 1. We are jumping up in fives. You see? 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Let's try another horizontal bar chart. Take a look at this one here. This chart shows the best theme parks in the world, as voted by somebody. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what the scale of this bar chart is. Well, if you look carefully, you'd see that we're jumping up in fours. So the scale of this bar chart is 4 to 1. Last bar chart to look at. This one has much bigger numbers, but it's exactly the same way of figuring out the scale. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what it is. Well, the scale on this one, because we're looking at such big numbers, is 100 to 1. Each jump up is going up by 100. So that's how scaled bar charts work. Nothing too difficult, quite similar to the pictograms we were doing last week. I don't know about you, but I could do with a break to relax from all this difficult bar chart work. Let's go to the theme park. There's nothing I like more than relaxing, having a day of fun out and about. No bar charts in sight. I'm feeling a bit hungry though. I wonder where the cheapest restaurant is. Aw, what? Everything's in bar chart form? Okay. Pause the video and tell me which bar chart do I need to read to find the cheapest restaurant in the park? Is it the red bar chart or is it the blue one? Well, it is of course the blue bar chart. That will tell me where the cheapest restaurant is, and it's Fries & Co. So I'm going to go off there and have a bite to eat. Tasty. Now, I'm not a very patient person, so I want to find the ride with the shortest possible queue. To do that, do I need to read the red bar chart or do I need to read the blue one? Pause the video and write down your answer. Well, again, it's the blue bar chart that will help me out this time. And Flying High has got no queue at all. So I'm going to head there and see what it's all about. Whew, exhausting. Okay, I am on my way back home, but just before I go, I want to get a souvenir, something to remember this place by. But I don't want a souvenir that everybody else has. That's the point in that. So, to find a souvenir that pretty much nobody else has, would I need to read the red bar chart or the blue bar chart? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, third time in a row, it is the blue bar chart that will help me out. I can see that only one person buys the souvenir toilet roll every day, so I am going to get myself one of them to remember the day by. Okay, I think you have all the knowledge you could possibly need to go and finish off the last practice activities on bar charts. When you're ready, give them a try down below. So our Walt for today's lesson was to read and draw bar charts that use a scale of more than 1. If you're ready to do that, off you go. Otherwise, give the video another watch. That's all we have time for today. Until next time, take care.